So hey, it's your girl Trent. I'm back again with another video. I'm just going to talk about what we are reading today in class, and we are reading something called Oedipus, and it was written by Sophocles, and it's a tragedy. Something unique about Sophocles that he wrote 120 plays, which is very unique to me because nowadays we really don't meet a lot of people who write a lot of plays. Rarely they just write a lot of movies, but I haven't met anyone who wrote like 120 movies, or I just thought that's unique to write that many plays because a play is long, and that's just something unique to me. Also, he was born into wealth. He had a very good education and things like that, but something that stood out to me about him was how he wrote over 120 plays. So let's get right to the story about a summary. So basically, in this story, we talk about fate and free will and how they collide in the story, and at the end, fate always wins, which is something because fate is out of any person's control. What is destined to happen will always happen, no matter if you try to have certain events that'll stop it or you insert certain events that you think are going to stop it. Fate is always going to come out and win at the end of the day. So basically, Oedipus is a victim of fate. Oedipus was born to King Laius and Queen Jocasta, and when he was born, his father heard from a prophecy that his son, which was Oedipus, will kill his father Laius and marry his mother Jocasta. So at that moment, his father was like, "That's not going to happen. Something's going to happen." So what he did was he left Oedipus in the mountains to die for the beast to eat him, and he was going to proceed on about his life. But at the end, like I said, fate is going to always overcome. So at the end, you'll see how things were predetermined and how they already happened or predestined. So normally in the mountains, that's where the beasts are. And with the beasts, Oedipus' father and mother thought once they leave him in the mountains, they would never see him again because he would be eaten by the beasts. But at least did they know that he was actually spared by the beasts and discovered by a king and a queen and was adopted as an orphan. So as Oedipus got older, he heard about how the prophecy said how he would kill his father and marry his mother. At the time, he was thinking that they were talking about his father and mother right now. He did not know that they were talking about King Laius and Jocasta, who wasn't even his mother at the time. So once he's thinking that, he's like, I don't want to kill my father. I don't want to marry my mother, so I have to leave. He didn't tell anyone, which is crazy because normally when you hear something like that, you want to confront. But fate at the end of the day, because honestly, if he would have told his mother and father his orphan mother and father what would have happened, then it would have played out that way. So basically, he didn't know that was his real parents. So once he fled town, he got into an argument with a stranger, which happened to be King Laius, but he did not know that King Laius was actually his father. And King Laius did not recognize Oedipus at all because, again, when Oedipus was born, they left him to die, and they thought he was dead. So he ended up getting to fighting with the stranger. Once he got to fighting with the stranger, he ended up killing killing his own father, Laius, but he did not know that at the time. Mind you, that was one of the prophecy's statements. He said that he would kill his father. Boom, he killed him. So when Oedipus went to the town was grieving and all this stuff, and they were trying to find out who killed King Laius because King Laius was the king of the town. So then that's when he met Jocasta, and he was set to marry Jocasta. Mind you, they ended up getting married. Jocasta wasn't grieving too bad about the death of her husband, but she was just like, just let it go and stuff like that. Mind you, that's when he ended up marrying her, and that happened to be his mother. So it's like, even though at the end of the day, the prophecy was right because the statement that he stated how he would kill his father and marry his mother actually happened. It didn't say under what circumstances or anything. And I feel like fate at the end of the day will always win because Oedipus could have went to any other town. He could have left a minute early, a minute late. He probably would never end up crossing his father's path. But he left at that exact time. They got to arguing, and he killed him. Normally, when you get to arguing with someone, you don't kill them, but that's just how it happened. And something that I kind of didn't like about this story was how he actually ended up marrying his mother because it's like ancestry. But at the time, I honestly do like how Sophocles collides fate and free will together and show you how it's basically like he weighed them side by side, and at the end of the day, fate was always win. Because you could always think that you could avoid certain situations, but that shows the truth. Every situation is not avoidable. Every situation you cannot avoid, basically. So that's what I took away from this story. I really enjoyed it. As again, I said it was a tragedy because it ended up with him marrying his mother and killing his father. And then some other stuff ended up happening. But that was just a quick synopsis of what I got from it. And what I said in my community discussion is how just fate will always win. How everything is predestined. And I feel like certain situations you try to avoid, and I personally understand that too. Certain situations I try to avoid, but at the end of the day, I have to understand that not all situations are avoidable.